All right, Nick, you start.
I don't know.
We're getting an intro out of you at least. Say hey, dance, monkey dance.
Oh, I thought you meant like a cold open intro. I was just thinking.
You got one?
No, I'm just thinking of stuff that happened. Oh, did you guys see the video from a few months ago of like Karl Lauterbach falling asleep during a BPK?
No.
My man just turns off like mid press conference.
We call that doing the Biden. It's a viral craze. It's like the floss dance. All the politicians are doing it. The ministers.
I feel like
in New York City on the street outside the UN.
But I feel like I'm going to do like unhinged Balkan YouTube comments because Erdogan did it first, and then you come along and steal Turkish greatness.
No. This is a different level of falling asleep at something.
He fell pretty darn.
Oh
asleep.
no! Like Lauterbach is like 2 seconds like sitting and then just
down.
You got to look it up. It's beautiful.
I'm so looking forward to being old.
He's not even that old. It was one of the last press conferences before they like ended for Christmas break. It was like the 21st of December.
So what age is he?
Lauterbach?
Yeah.
Like late 40s? Something like that.
Hold it. He's 58, dude.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, my man
It's a testament to his. Yeah, I'm sure he cycles.
Yeah.
But you can't fight the sleepies.
My man eat mad rokost.
Oh yeah.
I've been talking a lot about rokost lately. If you just eat a big plate of rokost, you're good. Doesn't matter what else.
Karl Lauterbach is vegetarian too, which is perfect.
He is.
Yeah, he is.
Yo, that's why.
There was that.
Do you need more proof?
No, there was that video.
Lucas stay winning.
They do that when you get heart problems in the States. Your doctors will recommend you do the middle of your open diet.
Yeah.
They open a cabinet and they just have like freshly chopped, just like Mama used to do.
Kohlrabi.
Kohlrabi. We got the fucking paprika.
Hell yeah.
We fly the kohlrabi in special from Kashmir, the only other place in the world that eats this stuff.
Is that true?
Yeah, pretty much.
Damn.
It's like Germans and Kashmiris.
One of the things I found really weird about
I did
Germany,
get a stomachache the other day from eating too much coleslaw. It was terrible.
I do find it really funny in Germany. Maybe Rob agrees with me or disagrees with me. I don't know how it is in Massachusetts. But I feel that like Germany in the grocery store is like a really weird vibe of like food that's horribly basic, like potatoes,
sure,
cabbage, all that shit, and then like bonkers shit that Germans find on vacation in Southeast Asia that for some reason are in really high supply here, like physalis and like dragon fruit and like all this shit.
Oh, true. Jackfruit a little bit.
Yeah.
Get excited about that. Yeah, dragon fruit is definitely one.
Yeah, but it's like it's two modes. It's either like, oh, I went to Cambodia once, I can never not have this in my diet ever again, or it's like the simplest food.
Please boil me a carrot.
Yeah. But there's never just like like they try to do that like a little bit with like the avocado thing here. That there's like avocados are at every grocery store, but they're the worst quality ever.
Yeah.
Germany doesn't need year-long avocados. Who told them that?
Yeah, that's just the classic like German thing. Like it's the classic like developed country thing of just like demanding all your treats year round, and then the Germans just have the slightly tweaked version of that of just like no strawberries and like spargel are still seasonal. Nothing else is though.
Yeah, the weirdest shit though is that you'll like go to the grocery store and then things like spring onions will just be like cleared out like no one's
I'm a
business.
fiend for spring onions.
Yeah,
No, like I have PTSD from being in Germany. Just whenever I see spring onions in Lochschweiblin, I'm just like, yep, I'm taking two punches. Because it's not going to be there tomorrow.
Exactly, like something that's so horribly abundant. Yeah, for some reason,
like grows wild in this kind of like climate.
Yeah, or like that kale is like fancy here, even though it like grows in Brandenburg, and like 5 years ago wasn't a luxury thing until they're like, oh, the hipsters are doing this.
No, like kale is fancy. Grünkohl is like whatever.
It's the same thing.
Diet. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like
but you used to be able to get fresh Grünkohl, so fresh kale,
peppery cabbage
at the grocery store right until the kale sensation swept Germany, and then it became a bio company thing only.
Yep,
that was like 10 years ago.
Manufacturing that producer surplus,
yeah,
just jacking that up. waving a watch in front of your face, saying this is getting very bougie.
Yeah.
No, that literally
you
happened.
want to spend €2 more for this.
Kale used to be like the garbage plant that you'd like force your like grandchildren to eat in Ireland, and like now it's.
Did you?
Or like 10 years ago, it was like.
Is this a personal?
Yeah, I love kale, and I don't like paying too much for kale.
Exactly, kale's a great vegetable. One of the best vegetables.
So good.
Good leafy green, but it's like I'm not going to spend €4 for a fucking a head of kale.
Yeah. The first time I heard about kale, I think I was like 17. Yeah. My friends went to BJ's, which is the Northeast version of Costco, and bought like 5 pounds of kale because we're like, it's healthy, and we brought it home and it was disgusting. We were just eating it raw out of the bag.
Yeah, no, you don't do that.
5 pound bag of kale. That's sick. We didn't know what to do with it.
I feel like
we did make a Facebook event for it. I invited our 7 friends.
I do think like I feel like, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's basically like 2 types of Americans. Like, my wife used to work in a restaurant, like there was a tourist restaurant in the States, and like Americans are just like, some Americans are just absolutely shocked when they see like fat still on the cut of meat or whatever. And like, I feel like there's 2 types of Americans. One who like know intimately where every food comes from, and then the second, which is like raw up, where it's like, oh man, new food just dropped.
I've never met the former, I gotta say.
Whoa, you told me beef comes from cows?
Yo, new food just dropped. Fucking grünkohl. That was, to be very fair, that was a thing in the U.S. Yeah. Ooh. Yep. And also Swiss chard, which is just a different name for for kale.
Yeah. No, they did try to make the whole like kale's bougie thing happen in Ireland as well at the same time.
Oh, it functioned in the U.S. and it has functioned in Germany. Yeah. So, go home, Ami, go home. Am I right?
No, it's like 2/3 of this podcast recording. I mean, you just stay here.
What are you talking about?
I can take care of it.
What? No, I'm.
You're Italiano.
I'm Italiano, baby, by according to the German state.
I'm a German man.
Yeah. Rob is the most German of all of us. Even more German than Yulia.
That's not true.
Yulia's actually Polish.
That's fundamentally not true.
Rob is, I don't know, I get that all the time. Like the one very like slight thing of racism that's like immediately observable is just like if you have like a German friend of color and like they speak German and everyone's just like correcting them behind the counter, and then I go to order a sandwich, my piss poor German is like, oh, you must be from Mecklenburg-Vorpommern because
you have
like my fucked up German is apparently an accent from a state they haven't been to.
You have a beautiful accent.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you from Helgoland?
Hey. Welcome to your weekly Corner Späti. It is myself, Nick, joined with Rob and Kieran.
Hey.
What's up?
Nothing, just
not much.
Talking about groceries.
Yeah, talking about groceries. Still going through the news. We got a news backlog here.
Yeah.
And apparently the boss says we can't go home until all the no news covered.
Yeah. No dessert till you finish your news.
Getting paid. We're working overtime.
I took the reins. I took the, I don't want to toot my own horn. I took care of the biggest of news last week, but the boys want to still play.
Yeah.
Apparently there's other news going on aside from Ukraine and Russia, but
we could make a whole Ukraine and Russia podcast because it's getting stupidly hawkish, and I hate it.
Are there any updates in the past week?
Yeah, there are actually. One's really funny is that Joe Biden just like in the middle of a press conference just admitted that Ukraine's never joining NATO.
Yeah,
which is fucking sick. Biden.
Yeah, Zelensky was pissed. Like he made a lot of statements.
Yeah. Because Biden, the funny thing is that like Ukraine, if you tuned into last week's episode, previously on Corner Späti. Yeah, so we solved Ukraine. We talked about like NATO's open door policy, how it's like kind of not really a thing. And Biden, during a press conference 2 days ago, was getting questions asked about Ukraine and Russia, talking about like, he's going to drop the hammer if Russia's being a bad boy. And then on the question of NATO's open door policy, just straight up admitted, which is something that we've all known for the entire time, is that Ukraine is most likely never going to join NATO.
No.
The other members will not ratify them because of their own human rights violations and stuff like that, or their lack of democracy or whatever the fuck it is.
Russia also has a pretty good tactic now in the bag of Russia just has to recognize Donbass's independence, and then you're not qualified to join NATO anymore because there's territorial instability.
Yeah. So, Biden laid that on. Biden also got, I think we may have mentioned this too on the episode last week. Finland and Sweden have been very weird because they're not NATO members, obviously, but Sweden's very passionate about, being closer to the EU than Finland, but Finland doesn't really care as much as Sweden.
I've forgotten her name. Prime Minister of Finland basically said, "No, we're not joining NATO."
Yeah. And that was just kind of funny that they're like, the country that then's the main focus of this, Ukraine, never going to join. Yeah. But then they're like, my God, Finland? That would bro.
That'd be they'd be so fucking happy if they got Finland and Sweden. And they'd nuke Ukraine to get Finland and Sweden on board. Then
Finland's not part of any international organizations.
No, of course not, because it's they bordered the Soviet Union. They were very staunchly pro their neutrality or whatever, because it was just going to be too much of an incident if they took part in anything.
Are they in the EU?
Yeah, they use the euro.
Okay. Yeah. Oh no, Sweden doesn't use the euro.
But Finland joined in the mid-90s. They waited until the Cold War was over.
That's just smart.
Yep.
Pick the winning team.
But also, what else? The U.S. cleared the Baltic countries to just send weapons to Ukraine. The EU made an announcement that, there isn't an embargo on meeting with, Russian diplomats. You can do that. So, Orban is going to meet with Putin, next week. So is Plenković, is that his name? Plenković, who's the Prime Minister of Croatia. Hungary's building a nuclear power plant that's going to cost 12 million euro, and 10 million euro of it is coming from Russia. So
big things are happening in Central Eastern Europe.
Oh yeah.
This is, I don't know, the whole thing that I got into a discussion on it on Twitter is just the whole thing I find fascinating about this, and also China in relation to the EU, is just America has just no sway anymore.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah.
Because I'm looking at that Beijing boycott, no one is taking part in it.
Oh well, we had some China updates. What was it? Poland just reaffirmed that
they're fucking not going. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not doing the boycott. I'm going to meet. He's Duda is I'm going to meet Xi.
I just realized something that because the only countries who are paying attention to it are the Baltics.
Only Lithuania.
Lithuania. Yeah. I realized that Lithuania is if Enos Cantor Freedom was a country.
Yep. Somehow still in the league, not good on defense.
Gets way too much airtime just for being dumb.
Yeah. You can just say you're an NBA player. There's a player, Jonathan Isaac, for the Magic, who was pretty promising. He's still young. He's 23, but he hasn't played in 2.5 years because he tore an ACL and tore his other ACL. And he's a right wing guy. He has a new show on the Daily Wire with Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens. And his whole thing is I'm the starting forward for the Orlando Magic. And
but they won't let him play because
no, it was 2.5 years ago, dude. Your career might be over. Yeah. But it was definitely this
That's so
I matter.
Cool. Enos Cantor's going to be getting a Fox News show in 3 years.
Excuse me. Enos Freedom. This is legal name. Yeah. The commentators have to say freedom.
Yeah.
If we're talking Ukraine and Russia, though, actually there is one thing that I do want to bring up that we didn't talk about last episode because it didn't happen yet, and is I think worth talking about, is Macron's speech to the Parliament.
Oh yeah,
where he was just Europe needs to just talk with Russia and make a security pact by it, just us and them. Mm-hmm. And then
we talked about on the episode that Macron was mad that that the Europe wasn't the ones who were first going into the negotiations, because from his perspective, geographically, it made more sense.
Because I've talked about it before, within Macron lies the secret de Gaullist. Mm-hmm. France should be a world power, and Europe is its sphere of influence.
Yeah.
This is not America's back garden. This is France's back garden.
And the other little extra pinch of salt in de Gaullism, which is we do it better than the crazy right wingers who are a little too We're more responsible.
Yeah.
Like, we
We'll
those generals get a little too hyped up. You know?
Yeah. Well, we'll do horrific things in Mali, but like better.
Yeah.
The other thing is they're like pissed because like the junta government of Mali just keeps hiring Wagner Group, the PMC from Russia, to like defend them against the French army.
Critical support for the junta in Mali. I'm announcing a new movement in France. It's called Let's Go Brandon.
Don't give it, like that would take off. I fucking hate France, but like that would take off.
I want all the fucking the like Nazi Zemmour Pepe Zoomers to just start screaming.
Allez Brandon, allez Brandon,
allez Brandon. Dude, Allez Brandon sounds like it could be the name of a new party. Like, come on, the fucking République En Marche is already bullshit. Allez Brandon.
Allez Brandon.
We're going like Ukraine. Let's go Brandonovich. We're like every country we are supporting the people rising up against the government that is, the globalist, doesn't care about them.
Oh God.
Yeah. We're doing it.
I told you how there have been "Let's Go Brandon" signs in Germany and Austria for their anti-COVID restriction protests.
Lessons get Brandon.
That would be Aufgeht's Brandon.
Aufi Brandon.
Aufi Brandon.
Aufi Brandon.
Brandon. Yeah. Oh God, I'm surprised Brandon is not like a name like Kevin is here.
Yeah.
Watching like
it would be Kevin. It would be Aufi Kevin.
Aufi Kevin.
Yeah, the crowds, they are chanting Aufi Brando.
We just start chanting Aufi Kevin. People will be like, people listen.
I'm releasing a song called Aufgeht's Kevin.
If you're listening, if you happen to be a German rapper listening to this,
Aufgeht's Kevin.
Yeah, please record your track, Aufgeht's Kevin.
My new producer tag.
We will retweet it. We're starting the
producer
movement.
tag. I will make a beat for you. My producer name is Goofy Scream.
Oh yeah. You realize that my idea is good.
Yeah.
Of the
producer
goofy,
tag.
The Goofy Scream being a producer tag is sick. I want.
Can you do the scream for the listeners at home?
How does it go again?
You sound like Mario, just stepped in some fire.
That is exactly what Goofy is.
Yeah. Anyway,
Goofy sounds like it sounds like
Gorsh.
It sounds like Gore nicht. New World Order? Nein, gar nicht. Gore?
Yo, dude, no. Goofy would be Aufi Kevin, though.
Dude, Goofy told me, dude. We were chilling the other day, and he said he's all about.
He's all about Allez Brandon.
Allez Brandon.
He's Louisianan French.
Oh God,
Anyway.
Say something we're supposed to talk about.
No.
Yeah, no. Hey, the serious thing that I found very interesting about that whole Macron speech, though, was just like the gears, like just kicking up immediately after the speech happened of everyone just like shutting him down, like. Random EU bureaucrat told the FT that it's dumb as fuck. Like there was like comments being like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. That's a stupid idea. Josep Borrell, our boy, was on the phone to like Biden or someone from like
Let's go Brandon.
or Plinkin just like being like, no, I don't know what he's talking about. We love NATO.
There's such like this is the thing that's the funniest thing. Imagine having to fucking kiss Joe Biden's ass, a man who doesn't know like up from down, who then when you talk to him is just all like, wow, listen here, Jack. When I was at the spaghetti factory,
dude, Joseph Borrell is like the Duncan Idaho of the New World Order. Like, dude, my man is a soldier, and Macron is he's out there grinding.
Yeah,
he's willing to get his hands dirty.
But like, this is the thing. Like the funniest thing about like the idea of just like Europe asserting itself on the world stage in any way as like an independent or like autonomous force, as like Macron likes to say, is like everyone with a tiny just sliver of power in Europe is going to do everything in their ability to make that not happen. Like it's just like, oh yeah, Europe should be on should be independent, multipolar world, and then you go back to your office and slam the big double down on America's whims button.
yeah. So the really funny thing too on that is that Blinken and Sergei Lavrov met today.
Oh yeah.
Two legends. Finally in the studio. I've been atting them.
Two piles of melted clay.
When are we going to get the collab?
It's just really funny because the photos that came out of them meeting before their meeting was Lavrov just with the biggest smile on his face being like, yo, it's on. Like, I'm going to fucking tear apart. And
it's just fucking Kendrick in the, on the track. with all
fucking Big Sean.
Lavrov, like, probably thought Blinken was an app. Before, like,
yeah. I mean, Lavrov.
I know you two are Americans, but Blinken is a fucking stupid name.
Yeah. No, it is.
Blinken. The thing of it too is it's just like I can't imagine being any foreign leader or foreign minister and having to go in like discussions with a man who's been in his position for 20 years.
Yeah,
you're destined to be owned.
Yeah,
regardless. Like what are they going to talk about? Like what is Blinken, who's been in a post for like 8 months, and a man who like watched the Soviet Union collapse in front of him and then ended up as one of the most powerful people in Russia?
Yeah,
like I'm sorry, like Rob said, Kendrick in the studio.
I don't know. I feel like Blinken's is going to be like, hey, have you seen Squid Game? It's going to be just like basic, like bullshit like that.
That's actually my job as a gig worker for the Blinken app. I don't drive anything. I don't ride a bike. I just ask people, have you seen Squid Game?
Yeah, you just do small talk.
I just do small talk. I promote American soft power with just by like small talk at the waiting for the green light the crosswalk.
It's like that Chinese.
Probably you've done more than Blinken has. So
I'll tell you what. I wish I was in the high school in Euphoria, just waiting to cross Prenzlau.
But it's that service they do in the white monkey services they do in China, where like if you're having a corporate event, you can just hire a bunch of like Caucasian guys in suits to come up, and then it's like, oh, it's an important event. There's a white guy here, and
dude, I would kill at that.
Yeah, you would. You're exactly the archetype. You're the absolute archetype they're looking for. But like, yeah, they just do that for like American NatSec reasons of just like, oh, look at this tall guy. Oh. It distracts from the like weird circle of a person Blinken is.
That's right.
America still makes them tall. I've just been seeing weird brown guys.
Oh yeah, critical support for Sergei Lavrov.
That's actually why Karl Lauterbach is in the German government, because he's that for Germany. They're just like, oh yeah, they got one of those guys. They got the Holocaust guy. Everything's fine.
Oh yeah, no. Fucking Lavrov is anything but a Holocaust guy. He is his diet is nothing but canned meats.
Yeah, he's still Jenny from the block. He knows where he came from. Like,
exactly.
Rationing like meats during a blockade during like the early 90s coup attempt.
Yeah. Lavrov's one of the most interesting people in international politics. He's like fluent in like 3 languages in like Sri Lanka.
Cool.
Yeah.
Why?
He was the ambassador to Sri Lanka during the Soviet Union.
I think he's learning more languages than Rahm Emanuel is right now in Japan.
Oh, hell yeah.
I don't think Rahm Emanuel's putting in that kind of language.
No. He's still like level 1 on Duolingo. The owl is like trying to like...
the owl's pissed at Rahm.
The owl's so fucking pissed at Rahm Emanuel.
All right.
Because he's not saying the cat is green.
Exactly. Oh, God. Sicko.
Nico.
Are you? Are we moving on with the actual news? Or?
Yeah. We can.
That was actual news.
That was actual news. Yeah, true. I didn't. I served. Now the ball's in your court.
The Dark Lubega arc is really serving. So we do actually might have to do rolling updates on like, have we gone to war over Ukraine yet?
Imagine like
be so fucking dumb.
Imagine taking a bullet for a
member of the Azov battalion.
Well, either that or a comedian.
I imagine that every morning when I wake up.
Yeah, I'm taking a fucking bullet for like Ukrainian Louis C.K. Yeah.
That's what I tried to do, dude. When Bob Saget died, I thought that should have been me. I dedicated my life to protecting him.
Yeah, Bob Saget died for Ukraine. No one's talking about that. Bob Saget.
The Russians are so advanced at poisoning.
It's
Bob Saget's just a house was filled with like whatever it was, like plutonium, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, it's just one of those celebrities they don't really talk about too much. Is like actually Ukrainian and speaks fluent Ukrainian, like Mila Kunis, like Bob Saget. Everyone knows. Yeah, he's from Lviv.
Yeah, before like they found all these documents of just him being like, "Yo, Zelensky, I'm going to come for a free comedy show. I'm opening up for you. You're the comedy king." And Putin's like, "These men are too powerful. I gotta
stop.
I gotta kill Bob Saget."
But yeah, Rob,
that like literally though, like with the level of stupidity that the U.S. is trying to use any excuse to go to war now that there's like there was that article being like, Aphasia syndrome was bullshit.
Yeah.
Which, we never told you that. We believed in it the whole time. I never got Aphasia syndrome. Actually, I'm like fucking Bolsonaro, where I've got Aphasia syndrome four times.
I've been hospitalized 4 times with Aphasia syndrome. I've got a poop tube coming through my mouth for Aphasia syndrome.
Yeah, but I mean, there's that. There's the whatever, the cyber attack that Russia did against Ukraine. Yeah, fucking throw in that Russia killed Bob Saget. I'm pretty sure some fucking loser in NATSEC could be like,
who cares?
Damn.
Like, there could be no reason. They're still going to do it.
Yeah.
It sucks. They just need their little fucking playpen to do, public procurement arms deal scandals that somehow involves all the, children of various senators. They just need a country where that happens.
Yeah, Ukraine.
Yeah. God damn it. All right, let's talk about other stable, normal countries.
News. All right, the promise. We've kept them waiting long enough.
This beer's so cold, it's really nice.
News time.
And speaking of cold, the Faroe Islands.
Is it cold up there? They don't.
Yeah, of course it's cold.
They don't like nice wind currents, keeping it warm, keeping it.
What do you mean?
Relatively warm relative to the latitude. Isn't that all of Europe? They got mad wind currents and stuff, keeping us warm.
It's still cold up there.
It could be mild.
Dude, it's rocks in the middle of the North Atlantic. Yes, it snows.
I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't snow on islands because of the wind patterns. I'm looking at
I have lived substantially further north than anywhere you've lived.
Yeah, exactly. And how much does it snow in Ireland?
And the Faroe Islands is much further north.
It snows way more in Massachusetts. They named a snowstorm after it.
It doesn't snow in a lot of Ireland because it's too wet.
Yeah, exactly. Same with the Faroe Islands.
No.
Famously wet.
No. Because it's
infamously wet.
It snows in Scotland and it snows in Northern Ireland. So it definitely fucking snows the Faroe Islands.
Okay. Just because it's technically a subpolar ocean.
Subpolar!
All right, yeah, we got a lot of info about the Faroe Islands coming to you.
Yeah, we're not talking out of our ass with this country. We know what's up. Ignore the first 20 seconds of us debating whether it snows. God damn it!
It's not that cold, dude. The record it's very mild. The record low, all time is -11.
That's pretty bad.
Record high is 22. That's a mild.
Right? Yeah. Record so that's
it's all degrees in Celsius.
So that's like Irish summers, but that is not an Irish winter.
All right.
Irish winter would be 1 degree. It gets colder here.
Wow. Yeah. Then Ireland or the Faroe Islands?
Ireland. Oh. Not Faroe. No, -11.
You.
What? We're taking you in the fucking dead of winter. We're going right now.
I would love to do it.
We're going to the Willy Brandt Airport
in Tórshavn, or however you say it.
We're going to. Yeah, I need to bring up the Wikipedia page for the Faroe Islands because I think I'm going to need it.
The reason we're talking about the Faroe Islands is because there's a government crisis there, which first of all, catnip for our podcast, Kieran especially. And it's for a very funny reason. And we're going to break it down. Thanks to one Twitter user, Magnus, I forget his @, but we'll put it, we'll mention it. We'll link it in the description. Very helpful breakdown of what was going on in the Faroe Islands back in December, which is the government collapsed because of homophobia.
Yep. It happens in Europe. That's what happened.
There's still some places like the Faroe Islands where you get some nice classic homophobia related crises.
It's one of those things protected under EU law. And you can't just make feta cheese from anywhere. It has to come from the feta region of Greece. So it's not homophobia unless it comes from like one of the escarpments of fucking.
All right, so who's going to go through it? You or me?
You've got the info.
So the Faroe Islands is a part of the Kingdom of Denmark.
Subpolar region.
It's a subpolar region that is part of the Kingdom of Denmark, which is just them, Greenland, and Denmark, right?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else.
I don't know if they got any other islands.
Yeah.
Pretty out of the way place. Usually not causing too much trouble. So shout out to Magnus at Legalize Memes. Legalize, that's the British spelling. For the download of what's going on in the Faroe Islands.
You guys spell legalize weird.
In 2017, same-sex marriage was legalized, the last Nordic country to do so. But a lot of the attendant rights, whether that's adoption, parental leave, all those things, did not come along with it. So that's been a fight since 2017 to get that completed. And there have been some votes in the parliament there, which is called... Kieran is going to do the correct pronunciation.
Oh, okay.
But I'm going to do the pronunciation that Nick and I, and Nick who's gone, have been doing, which is a lawting, which is a stereotypical Jamaican way of saying a law thing.
Yeah. So that's okay.
Which is what they do in Congress. They do lawtings.
The Parliament of the Faroe Islands is called the Lagtinget.
Sorry, if Kieran has a cold, he meant to say lawting.
Lagtinget. I think there was a lot of playing around with the IPA vowel chart on Wikipedia. Shout out to that website. But
Kieran reads the IPA chart like fucking Neo in the Matrix. Like when like a vague ethnicity like crosses him on the street, he just sees IPA symbols like flying off of them.
But like it is like a superpower of me on this podcast. Like I can read IPA.
I can read IPA too, but I'm even better at drinking them.
Yeah, so you just see a code, but I see a blonde girl, redhead. Yeah, so and that is the Faroese for literally law thing.
Yeah, law thing.
Lagtinget. Ting.
So the reason we're talking about the law thing is because in 2019, a right-wing government after the elections, became the new ruling coalition of the Faroe Islands, which I cannot say that I know the exact dynamics with the Kingdom of Denmark. Would it be like a Commonwealth situation? Like
it's Isle of Man is a comparison. It's autonomy.
That makes sense to any of you out there. I don't know the Isle of Man
it makes
works.
sense because like for Irish and UK listeners, I guess. So it actually has it here. Self-governing since 1948, controlling most areas apart from military defense, policing, justice, currency, and foreign affairs. And also, I believe it's a situation where if the Lagting passed something that like Denmark did not approve of, they have like a final veto. Much in the same way that Westminster has a veto over everything done in the Isle of Man, but they just haven't used it. Yeah.
Much in the same way that NATO has a veto over everything that happens in Europe, and they have used
Denmark has a mini NATO. The fucking Danish stay behind in the Faroe Islands, just like murdering anyone who talked too loudly about independence.
Or gay marriage.
Gay marriage, or becoming a communist, I don't know.
So the reason this, just on a strictly political level, that's obviously a bit of a situation, right? Because via referendum, same-sex marriage is passed. Yep. Actually, I don't know if it was via referendum, but it was passed in 2017, and then a more right-wing coalition that is against gay marriage, including one party in particular that's like pretty strictly
Center
hardcore.
Party is basically, that's their whole thing.
Yeah.
So the governing coalition at the moment, the governing coalition that Rob was talking about is the let's have some fun here. So in English, Union Party, People's Party, and Centre Party, who are all like conservative and centrist, with like the differences between them being their like what's their pet issue and their stance on Faroese independence. The Union Party, or the Sambandsflokkurin, the People's Party, or the Flokkurin, I'm guessing Flokkurin is party, and Centre Party, or Miðflokkurin. Meath being like Mitta, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah. Look, it's all connected. But yeah, like Meath Flokin, the Centre Party, like the whole thing, like in the little Wikipedia info card under ideology is like, you expected something like fucked and like in Europe just to be like, Christian democracy or whatever. But no, they have like anti-LGBT as just like, as the, and also regionalism, which there cannot be that much regional differences in this country.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they're islands. Who knows? A lot can happen on an island.
Oh, you're from the South Island. Oh, you guys drive a car like this for 2 minutes because then you run out of island. Yeah.
Anyway, so the law which would rectify the lingering inequalities with same-sex marriage is basically was expected to fail because they were the right-wing governing coalition had a majority of 17 to 16, and as far as like I understand, it was basically saying you have to vote the party line. That was like kind of a directive from the
whip or whatever. Yeah,
exactly. This was resisted in a few different ways. So there's different moves to make. So one of the MPs for the Unionist Party, who's been a longtime supporter of LGBT rights, said that they would abstain, which now takes away the majority of 17 to 16.
Yeah.
But then the coalition could rely on the support of one vote in the outside of the coalition, which would just, I don't know, it's homophobic, I guess.
Yeah.
Like they can just cross party lines there. But the key situation seems to revolve around the former mayor of Tórshavn, I don't know how to say it. The
capital,
the city.
Yeah,
the city. Annika Olsen.
Yeah.
Who was replaced as mayor, and then because she was on the list for her party, that would be that's the People's Party, right? Yeah. Got into the Lotting.
The People's Party is like, as it currently stands, the largest of the three parties in the coalition with a whopping 8 seats.
8 seats.
I love this place.
8 seats, as the old saying goes, 8 seats makes a party.
Yep. But okay, so the parliament is 33 seats in total, which you have to imagine is just a lot of like get fucked, York. I'm not voting for your bill, and your wife's fucking boiled whale meat fucking sucks.
You didn't mow your lawn. Yeah, I cook puffin better than you.
My garden gnome arrangement is more tasteful than your garden gnome arrangement.
So in the lead up, because again she's in the coalition and is supposed to vote the party line, she kind of kept it under wraps, and then when the vote came, she made a big deal, made a speech about how she's voting in favor, and it passed 17 to 16, which caused, according to our friend Magnus, quote, chaos. The Center Party was like especially hardcore about it. The other parties were like, how could this happen? The government was on the verge of collapse, which that's the whole reason we're talking about this. Failing a vote which just gets rid of inequalities in the law that discriminate against same-sex couples. Pretty funny reason to like throw the government into chaos.
Which also, these people must know the same-sex couples personally.
Oh yeah, true.
This is a vote about probably a handful of people everyone knows.
Yeah, they're jealous of how well they cook puffin.
The Faroese queer eye. There's the guy teaching you to cook puffin well.
So there's a bunch of parliamentary, chicanery. Apparently, if you're a minister, you lose your place in the Lotting, but you can reverse it. So 2 ministers for the Liberal Party step down. So
they played the reverse Uno card.
Yeah, literally, it's the reverse. It's a wonk reverse Uno. You step down from the ministry, you get your seat back in the Parliament, and then they kicked her off because she was whatever 10th on the list or whatever, and below those two. So now they're back in it, and then they can vote the other way. But then because that's such a blatant abuse of power. Other people in the coalition are like, I can't support this anymore. Or I would support new elections. Or whatever.
You're cracking out the big guns for trying to stop a thing every other country that we work with has done. You should be doing this for covering up the identities of people in the like Faroese Gladio operation.
I can't stress enough. The population of Faroe Islands is 50,000. So there just can't be that many gay people on that. Why are you being mean to them? Why are you doing this?
It is literally just like you just see your neighbor mowing the garden on your way home. It's like, did he pass that bill?
That's an impeccable lawn. You must be gay. I can't let you have parental leave for your daughter.
I know you've been stealing my Nat Geo that's sent to my house. Fuck you.
And then the sad news is that despite them being like, well, let's really take down the government, and then it looked like, oh shit, they're really going to take down the government. Apparently they're not. This like temporary move to like box out Annika, the liberal former mayor who voted in favor of the bill, was solidified by basically like bringing in replacing the ministers not from other MPs, which would have again bumped her back up the list, but just bringing in unelected people. It was all male now because they had to bring in these outside people in the ministry. So like,
all the women were already in parliament.
So much for that. Like so much for that Nordic equality.
Yeah.
So it's not
amazing
a very
how
stable situation.
Amazing how all the like progressive things Nordic countries supposedly stand for just go fucking out
when
the
push
window.
comes to shove. And again, we have to stress the pushing and shoving here referred to is like just legal rights to adoption, parental leave for same-sex couples in the quote-unquote like, you know, best countries to live in.
Like doing a thing that like the fucking Netherlands did in the 90s. Like,
yeah, check it out. Check out the details on Twitter. The other thing is that if part of the reason that they don't want elections to happen is because the whole crisis has shot the parties in opposition, including the Social Democratic Party, way up in the polls.
Yeah.
And the governing parties are way down in the polls. So, you know, that's Sun Tzu. As Sun Tzu says, don't call for elections when you've gone from 20% to like 12% in the polls.
I love that.
It really rolls off the tongue.
I love wonk Sun Tzu.
Wonk Sun Tzu.
Sun Tzu riding for 538.
Wonk Sun Tzu, dude. Matt Iglesias is Wonk Sun Tzu.
I mean, don't call for a general election when the Mongols are at the gate.
Simply take the best opinions from both the right and the left and pretend you're above it all. That's what Sun Tzu.
And of course,
that's what Wonk Sun Tzu says.
The right and the left referring to like flanks of my various armies.
Yeah, so we'll be checking in on the Faroe Islands. I'm curious what happens. So like, in addition to the poll situation, the people in the Liberal Party are also like, oh, it's moving pretty right wing, huh? Because like this was like a liberal member of the People's Party.
Yeah, People's Party is like
they're like, no, they're doubling down hard on
they are the People's Party. If I remember,
enshrining inequality.
Yeah. So like, Fólkaflokkurin is for people who are. Well, no, sorry. They're the far more conservative one, actually. They're the ones who are like associated with PIS in Poland and stuff like that. I am thinking of I think I'm thinking of Union Party, because Union Party is like conservative, but they're associated with like kind of like more liberal parties in Denmark and things like that. Like, they're not meant to be as this conservative. They're kind of they seem to be serving the same function as like the CDU does in Germany. They're just kind of like keeping the lights on. Everyone in the big tent. Everyone just keep going. But yeah, they're associated with Venstre, which is conservative liberal. Sure. Yeah. So that's the Faroe Islands. It's the Lorting.
It's a Lorting.
Lorting.
We love talking about Lortings on this podcast.
We just rename the podcast Lorting. I mean, fuck it. Just fuck it. We will get cancelled for all our Jamaican accents.
we are flying a little close to the sun.
It's important. Ththese are not Jamaican impersonations. These are Chet Hanks impersonations.
That's right. He started it.
Yep.
Should we talk about Anders Breivik?
Fuck yeah, we should.
News. Referenced him before on the podcast.
Have we?
Read sections of his manifesto. 2083.
Playing fast and loose with we here.
We. I sent you quotes from it. Maybe screenshot. He has his parole hearing now.
Yeah.
So it's been 10 years. Like, it was 10 years from the 10 and a half years.
Yeah.
It was July 2011. So it's probably been, what, like 8? Since 7, maybe? Since he was convicted.
Yeah.
And, yeah, he was saying, after doing the Nazi salute, and saying, I don't know if he said he was a fascist, but he's tried to form a fascist party. His whole thing that he was saying in court was, I renounce violence, and I was brainwashed by the internet to commit violence. And the real perpetrators are those brainwashers on the internet. Not saying really who that is. Maybe he means Jack Dorsey.
He means the Jewish ones. He means Mark Zuckerberg. Because the other like
Marxists and feminists.
Yeah, the other
his bugbears in particular back then.
His the other little juicy morsel here was just like him going into his parole meeting claiming that he's not a threat to society and then immediately doing a Nazi salute.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, is someone coaching him? Just be like, okay, Anders, if you just keep it together.
No, I love that his lawyer saying that, like, his lawyer, again, so maybe this is a lying fake news BBC, but the line was literally, how is he supposed to prove that he's reformed if you don't let him out? That's the real test. Let him out and see if he does a shooting.
Yeah. God damn it. Norwegian lawyers are just like vibing it out.
Impeccable.
I mean, do you want to be Anders Breivik's lawyer though? Is that like state aside?
Yeah, dude, that's the Robert Kardashian. That's the Alan Dershowitz of Norway.
Well,
he's
like,
unstoppable. He keeps getting, instead of people who murdered their wife, the Alan Dershowitz of Norway, someone who did a mass shooting in the 80s, and then it just keeps getting mass shooters off.
Olin Durzen.
yeah, you gotta go. You gotta get the best. Varg Vicker. Varg is the best lawyer that Norway has.
It's a cottage industry in Norway of just being the lawyer for just like the most heinous neo-Nazis.
I think the kernel of his argument that he's like was brainwashed back then, which is kind of like, I don't know how much of this is like reflects him personally or like a general trend, but it is very Christian, his manifesto, which is like defending Europe, like Christian Europe from the Muslim invaders. And I mean, the thing is, he talks mostly about the like feminism and neo-Marxism, which he considers to be the like Labour Party in Norway, which is why he attacked a youth retreat of the Labour Party. It's the Labour Party, right? It's not,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was the center. It was the center left. It wasn't the far left. Yeah.
And now it's like part of the reason he said like I'm founding a fascist party is because he's like, yeah, I'm done with that Christian cuck shit, or I don't know what word he used, but probably cuck. And so, like, yeah, he can say, like, no, I've completely changed. I'm not a Christian fascist anymore. I'm a pagan, like, Norse fascist.
Yeah.
Because, the things have...
That was Austro-fascist.
Yep, exactly. I've gotten my Engelbert Dollfuss tattoo laser removed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's completely changed. You should listen to him. That's what he's...
You should listen to the lawyer. Just let him out. Just let him say, for fuck's sake. It is...
To be clear, we don't think he should be let out.
No, he should not.
That's it for a second and be like, just be clear. It's not good news.
No, he should.
Very bad. Very bad. The other thing that's like, almost like, I don't even know what to make of it, but like, dude, fucking loser, you actually did it. Like, everyone's talking about being like, oh, I'm going to storm the government, like, you know, whatever, like January 6th, you're going to storm the Capitol. Yeah. Like, he could have just, instead of bombing a bomb that killed 8 people and then just like shooting a bunch of kids, he could have been like, imagine if he just stormed the parliament. He could have taken a photo on like, he could have drawn like a fucking, I don't know, like a black metal thing on someone's desk and then taken some photos and then gone out, you know? No one's doing that much work. You don't have to kill people. You don't have to kill yourself. You don't have to get in trouble. Just like complain about it, post. He could have posted way more. He, instead of like keeping a journal and then like releasing 1,000+ page manifesto, just post.
Yep.
You know, no one's doing like actual like, no one's doing that shit. That's too much work. He like collected fertilizer. He had to like make a fake company so he could get fertilizer delivered to make bombs and stuff. Like, yeah, it's a whole thing.
Jesus Christ.
yeah, dude, you owned yourself. Why did you? That sounds like so much work. You could have just been posting and complaining on the internet like all these other lazy people.
Yeah.
Just be lazy. Fucking idiot. Now you're stuck in jail with PlayStation 2 or whatever he has. He complains about. Yeah, no one's doing any commitment anymore.
He's in Norwegian solitary confinement, which means he has a Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, I think the only people who should be in Norwegian prison are the ones who think that, like, prison in Norway should be stricter than it is.
It's a logical trap.
Like, the only ones who are just, like, the only ones who go into prison in Norway and just like, that's too soft on us. They need to stay in there forever.
There's a trap door in every high school debate club in every Norwegian high school. You just fall into a pit. No, that is the one thing I want to like update if I ever. I mean, I can sum it up pretty quickly right now, which is like my whole thesis on the mass shooter episode was that this is like a distorted idea of political action because like there's like a cultural, societal script and like stakes you can define and like attention you can get. And like that is like it's political in the sense that you have to like they like kill themselves at the end, or in the white nationalist case they're going to do a rampage shooting until they're caught, so they're like sacrificing themselves to against something. And this is completely distorted, partially through the internet, partially through the developments of fascism in Western Europe and the US. And then after it happened, it's like, no, people aren't doing mass shootings anymore. That's way too much work. It's like, it's not even just that politics is like completely distorted. It's like no one's even doing that shit anymore. No one's doing politics. They're just posting. They're just riffing, chilling, complaining.
But also, like we're just getting also a lot of like documents and investigative journalism of just like, that one mass shooter, he was just like egged on by the FBI.
Yeah. I mean, because that's the thing. A lot of them were like, they're like, they take all this like time and preparation, and the mass shooters are all just like, oh, just get triggered by the FBI. So like, that's honestly why the FBI is like probably got to step up their game. They're like, people just don't put in the work anymore. No, when I was younger, they would be throwing themselves to be like, let me be a mass shooter. And now you gotta keep following up. You're left left on red when you're texting people gonna do a mass shooting today? ? They won't respond.
Yeah, no, it's like back in the day, the glory days of the FBI, like in the 2010s or whatever, early 2010s, you could just like, I don't know, put on a red dress and a blonde wig, like some Looney Tunes shit, and just be like saying, "Oh man, I love you." If only you just like kill someone, I'll like get in a Facebook chat room or whatever, and that would work. And now they need more.
They need more, and Anders Breivik is probably gonna not get parole.
Jesus Christ!
Back in jail he goes.
Yeah.
See you in 7 years, whenever your next hearing is.
I think it's every 10.
Every 10?
I think so.
Well, he wasn't immediately convicted in 6 months.
Oh, sure, okay.
I don't know. And he's serving 21-year sentence, so I thought there was some regularity.
Interesting.
See you at the next one.
Yeah, we'll be there. Yeah. We're gonna do like Truanon, just like at the trial.
I would stand outside the courthouse. I went to the courthouse in New York City.
Come here. I want a
twice.
quick interview. Fuck you.
Yeah, Anders Breivik's fucking brother will walk by. I'll interview him.
So yeah.
Anything else we want to talk about today?
I think that's an episode. I think
that's everything?
That's not everything, but there's other stuff. Like,
you have any quick hits? Real quick.
Oh, the only
20-second news bites.
All right. Okay. 20-second news stuff. Turkey is now Turkey now.
Is there an office where they can submit the name change? Is that a UN thing? Like
no, it's the foreign office, like a diplomacy thing. Okay. Like if a country, like if all the like countries like diplomats and ambassadorial staff just start saying like the name of the country is this now, you just kind of have to like go with it. You're like,
I guess you're right. Yeah, and then they're like, all right, well, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You are from there. I guess.
You're in charge. That's what that means.
Because like
that should be instrumentalized more. Parties should promise to be like, if you elect me, we will change the name to something cooler.
Well, like I wonder, like how successful would the party be in Germany if they were just like, we're going to make everyone in every language call it Deutschland.
Yeah, why not?
Because like Germany is notorious for just like being a country with a million names in different languages. Yeah. I think it might be the one with the most. Yeah,
there's like 4 root ones that
Tyskland, Germany, Deutschland,
and Allemand.
Yeah. But I think that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Turkey it is.
Turkey.
Turkey. It has an umlaut.
It has an umlaut over the U. Yeah. Turkey.
Turkey.
Yep. Sure. Svetlana Tikhanovskaya.
Yeah, Tikhanovskaya.
Husband.
Yeah.
Has been sentenced to 18 years in prison.
Ooh.
Yeah.
See you at your parole hearing in 10 years.
I'm no longer a threat to society, Nazis.
I was radicalized by YouTube. It's not my fault. It was
I was
YouTube's
radicalized
fault.
while editing my own YouTube videos.
YouTube made me, the clicks, the algorithm made me do those videos.
They tell you editing takes 3 times as long as it took to record the video. I think the only other thing with legs, I mean, there's like Rio Tinto in Serbia, but we're probably gonna have to do a whole episode on that. And I don't know, like Mikhail Saakashvili, who's like on hunger strike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is the former prime minister of Georgia, not of the Georgian Dream Party, political rival of the Georgian Dream Party. The Georgian Dream Party has like arrested him, and now he's protesting.
He lost his he lost his citizenship of his own volition because he went to Ukraine. He fled to Ukraine and got citizenship there and gave up his Georgian citizenship. Then he lost his Ukrainian citizenship with when I think
Petro.
Yeah.
And then Zelensky gave it to him back.
Yeah.
It's there's some whole bullshit there.
Yeah, he's a real pro-West kind of guy.
Yeah,
seems like.
And then but so it's like Georgian Dream.
Yeah, well, that's the fucking.
It's like
they're always saying that's the Omicron window. What the fuck's it called? The Overton window. Yeah,
Overton window. Close the Overton window. The Omicron's getting in.
We're expanding the Omicron window. Yeah, because it's like, he came in with kind of like color revolution, ass kind of thing in 2003.
Rose Revolution, I think it was called.
Yeah, against the, to be like more pro-Western, and then the Georgian Dream's like, no, we're not that. We're not really not that either, but we're just not that.
Yeah, I mean, like...
Does he have a rapping son? I didn't think so.
Would it surprise you that the political party with the record label and the rapping son run by the richest man in Georgia is mostly a vibe, and like the policy positions of it are just kind of hired to square? I feel like the policy positions of Georgian Dream as a party is like when you have one of those like little floating things in your eye that's always just like always out of view, no matter how long, like how far you try to like catch it. Those probably have a name. Anyway,
keeping an eye on that. You got some protesters protesting for him in Georgia.
I like it's kind of like bullshit. Like the Western stuff of Georgia just kind of became the norm, even though it's like really unfeasible. Like whatever you want to say about like Ukraine joining NATO, if Georgia joins NATO, there's like nukes are going to start flying. Like it's just stupid. But when that became the norm, then they started just like fighting over like just like weird petty corruption and like oligarchic reasons. I believe on paper Georgian Dream is meant to be like a little bit more social democratic than
so mission accomplished.
Yeah, UMP. Yeah, so good job, Georgia. We'll check it into that because he's doing like hunger strikes, and like Georgian politics is always just like very funny because of the rapping son.
Because of the rapping son. Everyone loves the rapping son.
Yeah, that's why he's going on hunger strike. He didn't like Bear's new album.
Now that's commitment. That's what I'm talking about with this mass shooting stuff. Go on a hunger strike. Don't beef on Twitter about how the new album sucks. Go on a hunger strike.
He's not on
Prove
Twitter.
it.
Bear's not on Twitter. Like you can't reach him this way.
Go do a hunger strike on his TikTok.
Yeah.
Tell him his TikTok suck. You can see the editing. Yeah. You see it's Photoshop.
It's meant to be a shared account with your wife, but your wife doesn't seem to be using it all that much. It's just you cosplaying as a Sasuke or whatever from Naruto. God damn it. But yeah, that's some of the news. I think we did all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Loting,
but most importantly, Aufgeht's, Kevy.
Aufgeht's, Kevy. Aufi, Kevy. Is that how we sign out the podcast now?
Yeah. Please start hashtagging that. If you see like some real Aufgeht's Kevin energy going on, just like quote tweet it, right? Hashtag Aufgeht's Kevin. Get it trending.
Yeah.
We're going to be on Tagesschau within a week.
I think to be honest, I think because it's an election year, I think Alain Brandon has more oomph behind it.
We'll see. You know, this is a real. That's how the free market works. Whoever's the best, whoever's the catchiest, whoever has the most meme power.
Yeah.
It's, you know,
we're applying the principles of Hayek to a dumb esoteric joke.
Yep.
We're going to do it. Also, the live show was last night. We haven't mentioned it at all, but we are planning to Twitch. We're recording this before the show. We're planning to Twitch stream it, so the VOD should still be up if you want to watch that. So check that out. Twitch.tv/Corner Späti. We also live stream every Wednesday. We're trying to do that more. It was fun last time. We watched a tiny girl hold up a picture of Randy Santel.
Just going to end every podcast like this from now on. If anyone knows Randy Santel, please tell him to call me. Contact me. I would love to.
We need Randy on the pod.
I think we could. I think we have a lot to talk about.
We need to do a live show with Randy where we get him to eat something.
Yeah.
Well, we just do a regular podcast around.
That's what he wants. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I'll do that. I'll take some tips from him. I think I'd be better than his other sidekicks who just seem to be set up to fail.
One of the videos I watched after you left was actually someone, one of his partners, beating the record before he did.
Damn.
Yeah, it was in Spain.
They were never invited back.
They ate like a giant hamburguesa, and she did it before him.
She did it before
him.
Ooh. Damn.
This is a competitive food eater. We're obsessed on the stream. You're not watching the stream. You should watch the stream.
Look up some Randy Santel videos.
Yeah, it's great.
Watch. This is how I feel whenever I go to a new small town in Germany. I have to like acquaint myself. My map is all dark. I have to walk around to like light it up in my menu.
Starting a new game of Age of Empires.
That's how I feel with every Randy Santel video when he's just in a new part of Europe who's about to eat some just like monstrous version of the local cuisine.
Yeah, it's great. The oh god, yeah, he's wonderful. You should watch the stream. Someone clipped us just losing it at the girl holding the picture. So that's just like there permanently now. It's just like a 30-second clip of us losing our minds. So check that out. Corner Späti, twitch.tv/Corner Späti. And we also have a Patreon. You know, you can subscribe there. Get a bonus episode every week. Should check that out more often.
Yep,
because
you're missing out the news. We talked about the news across all three past episodes. So if there's a gap in your news diet, you got to subscribe to the Patreon.
Because some people don't know how the Patreon works. They don't know what Patreon is for. They don't know there's a bonus episode. Some of you listen to podcasts on Spotify. The fuck are you doing?
You can get the Patreon on Spotify once you get the link. Can you add it to your Spotify? Really?
Nope, you can't.
Damn.
It's so fucking dumb. Spotify is a terrible company.
How do you say Mr. in Estonian? Are they Swedish or
they're
something?
Swedish. I don't know what Mr.
How do you
is.
say Mr.
They feel like they're like a language without honorifics.
Okay.
Spotify son.
Insert honorific here, Spotify. Yeah. Spotify son. We're here to talk about getting our Patreon.
Spotify son. Not like, you can't, if you enunciate it too much, it sounds like he's Japanese. Spotify son.
Oh, that's what I was going for.
He does like Japanese business practices. He does like kimonos and reads about just-in-time manufacturing. Anyway.
You're right. They don't have it anymore.
No.
In the past, they said Herr, Fru, and Fröken. Fröken? Fröken?
That's probably for woman, right?
Yeah, that's like Miss.
Yeah, Frau.
Herr, Fru. Wow.
Yeah. They're all into their like equality there, except when they aren't.
Except for,
Yeah. It's
Faroe Islands, man. We got to see what's going on.
Yeah. So shout out to the Faroe Islands, the Ultimate Island Boys, Ting.
Ting.
See ya. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.